in this video, how to tame the monkey mind.
Plus, you guys stay to the end for that secret weapon to take your badass life to the next level. We've got some stuff lined up for you that we've been working on for months. We want to give you the lowdown.
Right.
And for those of you that do not know us yet, I'm Heather.
And I'm David.
From ZenRoseGarden.com.
Yes. Helping people create
badass lives. Have you ever let mind chatter stop you from meditating? Has that been an issue for you? I'm going to assume yes, if you're watching this.
Right. Or what is your biggest block to meditating? What is it that stops you from meditating? When you think about meditating, what stops you? What pumps those brakes on meditating?
Right.
Let us know in the comments.
But let's make sure you are in the right place. So if you are in a constant state of overthinking,
if your mind wanders in an uncontrollable way
right,
and disrupts your life,
or you just want some mind hacks to like help your focus and your clarity in your daily life, then you need to be here.
You don't need to be here if you've already achieved a state of enlightenment and can levitate at will in the lotus position for an hour or more. Then you actually need to be teaching us.
You need to be teaching this class instead of us.
Right.
Then I bow down and I'll just walk away. While you guys are thinking about the things that block you, and I appreciate those of you that comment because that actually helps us create new classes that are relevant for you.
Yes.
I want to talk about the monkey mind for just a second. I think it comes up so often and we don't understand it. It's very misunderstood. And we equate it to thoughtlessness or no mind, like there's going to be nothing there. So understand that your mind is an organ in your body that literally cannot stop thinking.
It's basically the same as your heart. You don't want your heart to stop pumping. You don't want your mind to stop working.
Your mind stops thinking and you die, basically.
Or your mind stops thinking when you're dead.
Right. Something like, cart before the horse, chicken before the egg. So no chatter at all in your mind is basically, we can achieve those states of stillness. Those are those bliss states. But we're going to kind of clear up the monkey mind a little bit more for you and get you to make friends with the monkey instead of trying to battle it.
Shujin says, the floating feeling stops me. It feels too peaceful and I feel like I don't have any control.
Okay, that's a different
That's a really good one.
But thank you for writing that down because that's a really good idea for another class. That's kind of the opposite freak out of the mind chatter, right? When you get to that place of peace and you're like, oh my gosh, right?
The freak out of peace.
Right.
Ms. Responsibility says boring.
Yeah.
And then she says, not you guys, that meditation can be boring.
We got you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's definitely something that trips us up is that it's too boring to meditate. I've got to always be doing something.
I'm going to full confession here. My meditation looks different than everybody else's. My meditation is I take a couple hours in the afternoon, I sing or I do my yoga or I do active. I'm more of an active meditator, but I get deep into that mind state. So, and I do my meditation after my yoga practice, but it's not this big, long, drawn out thing. And that's really not the purpose.
And we believe that meditation should become a lifestyle or can become a lifestyle. Okay, so you should learn to meditate in order to make your life a meditation.
This is more about the formal sitting down, getting into that structure of meditation so that you can transpose that into your normal life so that you can kind of, it can be a habit that your mind just goes to with that focus and clarity on its own. So that's kind of the purpose of meditation is to have more control of your mind and your emotions. And your life.
And when we say control, we mean letting go of control.
Yeah. So tip number 1 is a question, actually. Why do you want to stop your mind? So if you don't like what you're thinking with that mind chatter, then you don't want it around, right?
If all of the mind chatter in your mind were nice, if it were good, positive things, then why would you want to stop it? You really wouldn't. It's those negative thoughts or distracting thoughts or the intrusive thoughts that make us want to stop thinking.
What kind of the panicky thoughts, your mind chatter when you're trying to meditate the first time was like, oh, this is waste of time. This is really boring. You're just wasting that 10 minutes. So you could be like cleaning out the dishes. At least that's what my mind chatter sounds like. Like I get you with that boring comment because I've experienced that too. Like, wow, I'm wasting 15 minutes when I could be doing this, this, and this, and this. But when I take time to do it, when I do this, this, and this, it goes faster. So I make up for that time. It goes faster because I'm not like in a panic or a rush. So let's talk about this tip. The first part of a long-term serious meditation practice is listening to what that mind chatter is freaking out about.
If you've got somebody who's screaming and you just shut them in a room, they're still screaming.
Right. So they might eventually stop screaming, so you'll let them out, but they're just really silently pissed off at you and resentful for locking them up. So this is what we do to our mind chatter.
Right.
So imagine like your mind chatter is a person.
Instead of listening to what this person is freaking out about. What is it that you're freaking out about? Are you worried about finances? Are you worried about the state of your day? Are you worried about some relationship issues? Observe and listen to what it's freaking out about.
So that's the real clue, is to listen to the mind chatter, get to the fear that's under the mind chatter and find out why it is. Because otherwise we're locking that person in the room time and time again, trying to get to the blissful state. Well, you shut up. I'm trying to get to bliss. But really you're telling yourself to shut up. So now the person comes out of the room, right? You've locked this person in the room. Now they're kind of pissed off and resentful, and they're going to find any way they can to get your attention, like passive aggressive comments or like interrupting your day with some random emotion. And that's what happens when we try to shut down the mind chatter and don't have a conversation with your mind chatter. But this is what happens when you skip that first very important step of a long-term serious meditation practice, is we as Westerners try to skip that mind chatter step. And we can't. Nobody can.
It is imperative because it tells you what is in discord inside of your mind. What is battling inside of your mind.
So the mind chatter is a thread. To wrap up tip number 1, the mind chatter is a thread that you got to follow down to pull that thread up to get to the real fear underneath. Why you're chattering, why you're panicking that I got to get this done and this done and this done. Unless that part of you, when you lock it in the room, chooses to meditate while they're locked in the room, then you're going to be okay.
Then you're awesome. And Cheryl Lynn says, just had a situation just like that yesterday. Other individuals think differently. And yeah, other people think differently. Parts of your mind think differently until they start to become on the same page.
And really our goal is to cohese our mind so we're not battling ourselves, because we know so little about consciousness and the mind and psychology, the cognitive psychology of the mind, and we're constantly learning new things. So while meditation has been around a long time, we're constantly making new discoveries about how the mind works and how it can splinter into different parts. And we battle ourselves instead of trying to cohese those parts. And that's what meditation has always helped with.
Now we're going to go into tip number 2. And this is, what are you feeding your mind?
Okay, so you know how you eat really horrible food for a while and you like binge on like donuts and then you feel really terrible, your body feels horrible? It's the same thing with your mind. When you got the mind chatter, the most important faculty you have, your mind, is out of control, because if your mind is gone, your body's gone, right? But it's out of control, spinning and spinning and spinning. Go back to, what are you feeding it on a daily basis? Are you binge watching, soap operas and like not reading a good book? I have my own junk TV that I watch, but make sure that most 80% of the time you are feeding your mind something good, whatever that is.
It's the 80-20 rule.
Yeah. Follow the 80-20 rule. If you 80% of the time or more are feeding your mind good stuff, instead of gossip and, nasty talk or, stupid shows or whatever, then the 20%, you can have your cheat days. But the thing is, just follow the simple rule. 80-20. And even simpler than that, garbage in, garbage out.
What you get in, or you get in what you put in.
You
get out. You get in where you fit in. You get in what you put in. You get out what you put in.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah. So if you're feeding yourself junk mentally, you're going to have junk be regurgitated and vomited back to you.
So if you're not getting to your meditation practice yet, this is a really good tip to get your mind to start to wrap itself around something healthy.
Start observing what you're feeding it. So
when you binge on donuts for a week and then you said screw that, and then you get back to juicing and he goes, oh, thank you for that juice. I know I get this body rush when I drink juice. It's the same thing when you feed your mind something healthy for it. Right. So that, I think, is a really good thing to start to practice before you even start meditation, because then your mind is used to taking in good things.
So question and observe what it is that you're feeding your mind. Is it good shit or bad shit?
Simple. So if you can't commit to a meditation practice yet, commit to putting in some good stuff into your brain. And trust me, that will trickle down and help you when you finally sit down and try to meditate.
So Cheryl says, it seems that I have no patience with all the drama and pinpoint the start reason. Point and conclusion and don't want to waste that 5-minute argumentative situation. Is that similar? Yes, because the you're getting short with the drama instead of observing it. You're attached to the drama instead of distancing yourself from the drama. It's not your drama until you make it your drama.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because we're going to talk about that in a little bit of that in a minute that I think might help you.
Right.
So there's a couple of different techniques in meditation that will help you to distance yourself from the drama.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff we talk about in the Frenemies episode is going to apply. Tip number 3, where is your mind?
Right here.
That's my mind.
So, that's my mind.
No mind.
No mind.
Don't touch my mind.
No mind.
Because then my skull would be off. So know where
it's cold outside.
Know where you are. Can we not talk about baby it's cold outside? Two people in the 40s just trying to get laid and they can't like come out and say it, so here
where is your mind?
Before I go on a baby it's cold outside rant, watch JP Sears' video. He says it all.
Yes.
So he just put out a video on ranting about baby it's cold outside.
Yes.
My parents were from the 40s and they will tell you couldn't come straight out and tell somebody I just want to fuck, but you had to like flirt and go around the it's just you had to, otherwise a girl would be like your reputation would be ruined. So I'm sorry. So
anyway,
number 3,
where your mind is.
Know where your mind is. Mine is on a 40s Christmas song.
It is now.
Is your mind present with your body? Mine apparently wasn't like 5 seconds ago. Maybe I was just demonstrating that.
Right.
So is your mind present with your body?
Or is your mind caught up in the issues of the past or worried about the future?
So are you in control of your mind or vice versa? So right here in this live, am I thinking about you guys? Am I here with you guys? Am I present? And that's more presence, right?
And it's a constant alignment. It's not some state that you get in and you stick it. It's a constant alignment of calling yourself back to the present moment.
So knowing what your mind is and aligning yourself with that focal point. And we talked about focal point meditation a while ago with a candle or a leaf or whatever, but constantly you're doing it with your mind. And those exercises with the leaf and the flame and all that is just to train the monkey mind to bring itself back to the present moment. So I had to like bring myself back because I went on a tangent about baby it's cold outside because it's fun to talk about. And I'm here with you now. I was gone for a second. Here with you now in the present moment.
Right.
In the conversation about where is your mind.
That's a perfect example of bringing yourself back to the moment. Lacey actually, Gratified Soul, has a really good video on breathing, on breath work that can help a lot. I think it's box breathing. Yes. So look up on her channel, box breathing, and that's a really good meditative practice that you can get into.
She's here watching with us right now. We love Gratified Soul. So know where your mind is.
Yes.
So if your body is in your yoga class and your mind is off on a whole bunch, I got to pick up the kids after this, I got to do this. So you can't do anything about that in the middle of your yoga class. Bring your mind back to your class. So that's what we mean by know where your mind is.
Right.
So there's a flip side to knowing where your mind is, and both techniques, I don't know how many fingers you're holding up.
Yes.
Both techniques are going to help you stay centered and grounded and calm. So,
and tip number 4 is learning distance.
Okay, this is going to help whoever it was. I'm sorry,
Cheryl,
with that detaching from the drama. Detaching from the drama. So distancing yourself from the issues, you can see more clearly. But that takes a little bit of emotional willpower is not the word I'm looking for, but emotional practice of like staying neutral and not attaching to other people's emotions.
Observing.
So
Sadhguru actually did a video similar to talking about the mind chatter, the monkey mind, and distancing yourself from the situation. He basically equated it to traffic. So if you're in the middle of traffic, you're all caught up in it. If you're in a hot air balloon somewhere way up high looking down at traffic, you're like, oh, that's cool. It actually looks really nice and peaceful from way up there. The distance that you have gives you the space to not freak out.
Well, and I think the being present concept we were talking about, knowing where your mind is and bringing your mind back to your body.
Right.
Mind and body in the same place. Is that being present, calm, bliss. There's nothing else I have to do. So the more kind of advanced concept of that, because that's sort of the starter kit, is that Buddhist concept of being the witness or the observer. So that's what Sadhguru was talking about in his video. So if you check that out. It's something about how to stop mind chatter.
Right.
Really good stuff. So this is the same, but slightly different from being
Present without attachment.
So when you're in a situation where there's drama, it's good to kind of check where your emotions are. Are your emotions attaching to that situation, or can you step back and be the observer, kind of go out of your body a little and go, let me kind of see where you are. So in that case, your mind kind of might not be where your body is. Your body might be in that conflict situation, but your mind just stepped back to observe it. So there's actually kind of like mind-body separation, but not the monkey mind separation. This is a peaceful kind of, let me step out and look at this and watch how the situation is playing out
without being attached to it.
So one of them is observing with action and participation, and that is the knowing where your mind is and the being present. So that's observing with action or participation.
Observing and being a part at the same time. The other one is observing as a separate witness, where you're kind of like not necessarily actively engaged in the situation, but stepping back into a neutral observant state.
Right. So what will really bake your noodle, because we love to reference the Matrix all the time, is it can happen in the same situation. You can have both things happening. You can toggle back and forth. And that's the sweet spot, because then you're kind of mastering. That's the word I was looking for, not controlling. Then you've mastered your emotions and your mind. I don't think we ever fully master our mind and emotions. It's a constant leveling up and becoming more excellent at it, right?
So how do you control your mind and your emotions? You master them. So you just learned how to tame the monkey mind.
Okay, now it's time for that secret weapon we talked about at the beginning. We want to know where you are on your self-growth journey.
Are you level 1? Are you just starting? And let us know in the comments, are you level 1? Are you just starting? If you are, we've got access to our free self-growth resources, where we've got tons of meditations, we've got videos, we've got classes to get you started on the journey. If you are level 2,
that means you've been practicing for a while. You're like kind of like climbing up the mountain.
Our free Facebook group help you create a badass life.
And then level 3, if you are ready to level up and like kind of soar, if you're like kind of conquered level 2, then we've got our Zen Ed Self-Growth Academy, and a really cool new way to learn about metaphysics.
And access to all of the replays so you never miss a class. The links for these are all in the description. If you like this video, hit the like button.
If this video helped you in any way, please share it with a friend. For more badass life tips, be sure to subscribe.
And click the bell to turn notifications on,
so you're the first to know
when we drop a new video
or go live.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Here, there, I don't know. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.
Bye, guys.